Hello, gorgeous creatures. How are you doing this week? Welcome to a new Selfcare Sunday. So, I want you guys to close your eyes for just a second. Inhale on the count of 1, 2, 3. Hold and release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And inhale 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold and release in 8 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Welcome. I hope your week was well. I hope you are doing well. I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking. I'm doing okay. It's literally, we are in the season, right? It is fall. We want to wear our cozy clothes. We want to get our cozy cushions and blankets and just be cozy indoors. And whilst the days are getting shorter, I'm starting to review the relationship I have with myself, the relationship I have with the people around me. And this week, I really wanted to talk about when we talk about the tribe, the core relationship. So, mom, dad, yourself. Let's talk about it. And then later on in life, it becomes the romantic partner. So, personally, the relationship I have with my mother has been a little bit complicated because there was a lot of trauma there. But we got to a point where both of us really appreciate each other. We value each other. And since I became a mom, my relationship with her has been absolutely the best it has ever been. I never had a relationship with my grandmother or my grandfather in the flesh, but I always felt this connection towards my grandmother. I always felt really close towards her. Even though I've never grew up with her, I've never met her in person, I always felt this very close connection. So growing up, I went to school in an all-black school, and then I went to a very white high school. I did a dance academy there, and I realized I had a very complicated relationship with women, and I could never understand it. And I was one of those toxic females that was like, I rather spend time with men because I feel so much more connected to them. Um, but I had no idea that the relationship I had with men was based on this undertone of sexualization. A lot of black females have been sexualized since they were very young. So me not being aware of my mother wound, meaning I grew up without my grandmother, meaning I grew up without the tribe. I needed more than just one female in my life that catered to me. So what I really appreciate about my mom's relationship, she was the first of the African diasporic line in the West. So she came here around 24 years old, and based on her efforts, due to her efforts, she made sure that a lot of her sister and brothers that were in the continent in Angola, they were suffering, they were struggling, they were still dealing with a lot of trauma from the war. They were literally in the war. She left during the war, right? So she made sure that they came over to Europe. They came over to Holland, and they could have like a better life for themselves. So growing up, it was just me and her. And then during these years, I was growing up, I was coming of age. Our home was basically the portal. We were the tribal portal. So everyone that touched base in Holland first came to our home, stayed there for a few days, and then they went into the system of like, I need help. So yeah, I always missed my grandmother, and once I became a mom and I realized like, oh, my daughter has a grandmother. So whenever I don't have the energy grandma can pick up, That's when I realized like my mom did not have that cushion. She didn't have that tribe where she basically could rest and be like, I can't deal with this anymore. Can grandma take over, please? And the tribe that she had was basically cousins, sisters, and brothers that came over and, yeah, were there. But also within a few limits, there were always limits to the relationship, right? So I wrote this essay. If you guys are subscribed to the newsletter, you get the essay. And I talk about my journey back to my roots, right? And one of the things that I absolutely love about that piece is that I tell you guys about the relationship I have with the continent that I have with Angola. And it was mostly founded on death. 14 brothers and sisters. My mom was one of 14. Four of them are still alive today. So imagine growing up in a home where 10 of them dropped dead, mostly of them before I was 18 years old, you know? So my tribe and the relationship I had with my mom was tainted because of the experiences. And a lot of people in the African diaspora, a lot of people that had to um, migrate cross continental have this thing where they feel like they're living without roots, and that causes a lot of pain. And that's normal. And we have this beautiful word in Portuguese, it's called saudade. I cannot even translate that word, saudade. You can Google it. Maybe you can translate it for me. But it's like this longing, this feeling that we have, even though I've never experienced war, even though I feel this longing to Angola, but I wasn't even born there, right? So it's like I am here during fall. It's cold. The sky is literally white. There is no sunlight touching my beautiful skin. I am depleted of my vitamin D efficiency. I don't walk miles and miles on end carrying water on my head, so my muscles aren't that strong. Every time when I come on here and I connect with you guys during Selfcare Sunday, I always sit on the ground. And the reason why is I need to make sure that my back muscles are strong. You know what I mean? The life in the West, the whole lifestyle here, isn't based on being rooted into your roots. So we have to find and figure out ways to actually get back to our roots, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, on all the levels, right? So yeah, my relationship with my mom was a thing where I could look at her and be like, "Wow, you're the portal. You're the one making sure that people can escape the war and actually have a better life. It's you." And she basically showed me what it means to be an entrepreneur. A lot of Angolan people that I know are hustlers. My mom, she wasn't a hustler. She always lived from this core place of belonging. And where she belonged was where she felt safe. So she felt safe in the kitchen, basically. She is the best cook ever. So what she used to do, she likes to dance, she likes to party, she loves to cook. So she thought about organizing this event where African Angolans and Portuguese speaking people could come together and vibe. So we're talking about early 90s. There was nobody doing this. There was no Mama Africa in Holland. We have this party called Mama Africa. There was none of that. And then we have my mom, 25-ish years old, starting this business where she basically is getting break even, but it's not about the money, it's about the community. People are eating soul food, they're dancing. She made sure that she hired dancers. She made sure that she hired the best DJs. We're talking about Vanilla Rotterdam West. For the people that know, you know. So she was the first, the trailblazer, the first. She was the first in so many things in our family, in our bloodline. And I was her firstborn daughter. I am her firstborn daughter. So she I have so much respect for this woman. You know what I mean? And the level of respect increased once I became my own mom. Also, she made sure that there was a tribe around us, and that's where I got it from. So my journey back to my roots starts with my mom. and the connection I had, the disconnect I first felt to her, and then the connection I had by becoming my own, by starting my own family and becoming a mom, right? And then the connection I had with my father, he was always absent. So he was never in the picture. He was always outside of the picture, but he was still there, but I couldn't see him basically, but I felt him, you know? So I've been embarking on this really long journey about my father. I don't want to get really into it right now. Maybe one day I will, but it's been quite a journey. But what happened is that my mom basically got with my stepdad, and he's a white man. His bloodline lies in Holland. I think if you look at him, he has very dark eyes, very dark hair. Now he's bald, but back in the day he had dark hair. So his bloodline might go to Spain, maybe even the Moors. Maybe there is a little bit of African there. I don't know. Nobody knows, but definitely some Spanish blood, Portuguese blood for sure. Um, but yeah, I grew up with a white stepdad and an African mom. And during my time growing up, the relationship I had towards the black man became a little bit invisible. So it was this year, 2023, that someone asked me, what is the relationship you have towards black men? And it really shocked me because it's been a while that I dated a black man. And if I look at it, if I really look into my tribe, the black men that are there are my uncles. And I don't see them that much. I don't speak to them that much. So the relationship I had with my father, you know what I mean? Because a black man is my father, was really almost non-existing. So I want you guys to look at your life right now and look at the relationship you have with your mother, with your father, and how this is still having an effect on your day-to-day life. It doesn't even matter if you have contact with them, yes or no. It doesn't matter if they are alive, yes or no. It's just if you think about them, what happens in your body? Do you become emotional? Do you feel something happening within your stomach? Whatever it is, honor that feeling and look at it, because we are always using that as our blueprint in our day-to-day life. So what it is that you're doing right now is very important, and it does reflect on where you come from. It's not something that is it's not like an island. It has a relationship. You know how you grew up in this African diaspora and where you are right now in your life, in relationship towards romantic partners, in relationship towards yourself, in relationship towards your friendships. If you go about your life, do you trust life? Do you have faith? What is the relationship you have towards life? What is the relationship you have towards your romantic partners? What is the relationship you have towards yourself? Are you being gentle with yourself during winter time, during the fall? During fall, it's about transmuting our energy. So a lot of people are like, you have to let go, you have to let go. But it's not only about letting go, it's about incorporating, because everything that is happening right now during fall is already in preparation for springtime. So literally, the mushrooms and the weeds and the everything that is falling and getting all tousled on the floor is already being a seed and fertilizing the ground for next season or the season after that. You know what I mean? So don't think that whatever happened in your youth doesn't have an effect on you right now. It does, you know? And I don't want to talk about like our traumas, because a trauma is an imprint and it has a lasting effect on us. If we don't do anything about it, it does have an effect on us, right? So I'm not talking about that. I really want to get deeper into it, and I want you to look at the roots, your roots. How are you connected to the motherland? How are you connected to your bloodline? And it starts with your mama, your papa, and yourself. The basics, right? So look at that during the week. Drink it if you got it. Let me get some more tea. Also, I just wanted to end this with a quick story about my grandmother. And oof, sorry guys, look at that. Look at that. Me all bragging, sitting on the floor, right? And having difficulty sitting on the floor. Anyways, my grandma, she used to be really good at working the land, right? So she made sure that the garden was always set and we ate from the land. My family ate from the land and she knew how to cultivate the land, which is beautiful. I love that word, cultivar. Like, oh, love it. So basically, she used to wake up around 4 a.m. in the morning and then she used to walk miles, miles, miles. Like, we are talking about freaking 30 kilometers, maybe even more, right? Every day to get to the land. And then she would work the land. And then she would go back home and she would cook and clean and make sure that the kids and everybody was set, right? And my grandfather, he used to work like in another state, even, or another country, another city. And he used to work 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, at this hotel or something like that. And he used to cook. So both of them, they were really good in the kitchen. And for me, getting back into my roots and where I come from, I didn't know where to start. But I did know that when it came to the kitchen, I never spent a lot of time there. But when I look at my mom, she used to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. It's like her meditation, right? So for me, if I look at my bloodline and the stories, that's where I needed to start. I needed to start getting my hands in the soil, in the dirt, taking care of the plants, right? Literally taking care of the plants, and also making sure that I cooked every single day. You can find me in the kitchen at the moment. And maybe it's just 10 minutes or 15 minutes, but it made sure that I got so much more connected. So, whatever it is that's in your bloodline and makes you connected to whatever you come from, make sure you ask your family members about the stories of the past because they still live in the now. If you want to get connected to your roots, start by doing the things that your family members were doing and from a point of health, from a point of wealth, not from a point of trauma based living, right? I love you guys so much. Whew. I hope you guys find the silence to meditate this week. That's basically what I've been doing now. Just before I came on, my 20-minute meditation, it got cut short into 11 minutes and it was perfectly fine to get me connected and aligned. And then I did the video. So try to get connected and aligned before you live your life, before you go out into the world. First connect, right? So I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for joining me on another Self-Care Sunday. Next week, Sunday, the 19th of November at 8 p.m. Amsterdam time, I will be live. So if you want to join, let me know. You can sign up through the link in bio. Also, make sure you receive my newsletters because the essays are pretty much awesome if you're also into the journey of going back to your roots. For now, be good to yourselves by being good to others. I love you so much. And I'll see you next week, the 19th of November, during Self Care Sunday. I love you guys.